Hey friends, I want to talk to you about blame. When we are blamed for something, big or small, whether you broke the law or lied to someone or something happened at work where you take the blame for it and there are consequences for it. Worse than the actual consequences is our thinking around blame. And worse than that is that we forget who we really are, and we create these stories about how people will perceive us when we are blamed for something, when we are looked upon as doing something wrong, as they're a bad person or whatever it is. And most of that is the stories we concoct in our brain, and are getting caught up in our thinking about blame and how people feel about us. But it doesn't exist. It's not true. We just get caught up in our suffering about blame. And I know firsthand what that's like, as we all do. When I got caught up in a legal situation over 14 years ago, I was caught up in my thinking about how people will perceive me, how people will look at me and blame me, and point fingers at me. And I realized that most of the harm, and it's innocent, that was going on emotionally for me was the stories and the negative consequences that I was concocting through thinking about it and through thought, where my brain was going to. But in reality, I was creating my own suffering. And I realized that the stories I was telling myself, that what happened 14 years ago, people will look at me like I'm a bad person, they won't trust me, they're going to judge me, what have you. And I realized, yeah, there might be people that will do that, but most of that is my thinking and my suffering, getting stuck in my own thoughts about how people will see me, and my own stuff that has nothing to do with how people perceive me. And it's such a relief when I really saw that, and I had the insight to take a step back and get out of my own suffering, get out of my own negative gobbledygook of head chatter that's going on in my mind, which is just my supercomputer trying to figure out what's going on. And eventually that suffering went away. And the way you can kind of short circuit those negative thoughts that ramped up thinking about when you do something wrong, or you betray someone, whatever it is that, oh, there's my thinking caught up in my own suffering, and that eventually those things will calm down. It calmed down for me, and it'll calm down for you. Don't give up. Think about it.